So we're back with the officer Tatum. We watched his video the other day where he was basically calling for even more violence. Anyway, I wonder how many, if anyone reported him to the FBI. Either way, this is his video where he's like, did Trump give up? Oh no. Let's take a listen. It's 3.5 hours long. It's a full stream, so we're definitely not watching anywhere close to all of it, but I wanted to see some of the sadness. I think it'll make me feel good.
All right, let's get into this. This live stream, this podcast is not here to make people happy or to, say what you want me to say so you can give me a like and a subscribe. That's not what this is about. This is about me telling the truth on how I feel about what's going on. I love President Trump, and I think while he was the president of the United States of America, he has been one of the greatest presidents that we've ever seen. He did.
Whenever anyone says this, I always want to say to them, name 7 presidents prior to, prior to H.W. Bush. Name 7 presidents. You could even have Reagan and Lincoln and George Washington. Name 4 other presidents and see if they can. You think Donald Trump is one of the best presidents we ever had? Name 10 presidents. There have been over 40. So name 10 presidents, please.
Pretty much everything he said he was going to do. There's some ups and some downs in his administration. I didn't agree with everything, but most of his policies.
Nobody remembers Van Buren. God damn it, Van Buren.
I agree with 100%. Most of his policies were great policies. But for me, I don't know about you, but it just appears that Donald Trump has given up. That's what it looks like.
Womp womp.
I'm not saying he has. I don't know. I'm not in that man's mind. It just looked like he's given up. I heard a speech today that was the most discouraging speech I've ever heard from President Trump. I literally gave the speech a thumbs down.
It's serious when Tatum is thumbs downing the words of God Emperor Donald J. Trump. Truly, it's a dark day for America.
I was disgusted by President Trump on this speech. And I'm just keeping it 100. President Trump, although I admire the things that he's done, unless he has an ace in the hole, he went out with his head down. I'm just keeping it 100. Like I said, I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this. I don't. You'll agree with me on another video. If he doesn't have an ace in the hole,
he does not.
And if he's not going to do something,
what do you want him to do? Again, what is this except a call to some sort of violence or military coup? Like, what do you think Donald Trump, 84-year-old man, what do you think he's going to do exactly?
That's going to result in him continuing his presidency in a second term. He has left the building with his head between his legs.
How long until Trump is gone? At the 20th at noon, he loses the presidency.
On all 4.
I mean, he already lost the, you know what I mean? He's out of office on the 20th at noon, Eastern time.
And there, it's all his fault that he left that way. If he's leaving, he left cowardice. He left like a coward. If he's leaving. And the reason I say that, with all due respect, is because he has non-stop been condemning. I don't understand what the condemning is all about.
Because you guys tried to take over the government and take members of Congress hostage, and that's a crime. How do I put this in a way that Trump people will understand? It is illegal to break into a federal building and try and kidnap people. I feel like that's a self-contained sentence. I shouldn't have to go on. But it seems like these people aren't getting it. What did we do? You broke into a federal building with bombs, Molotov cocktails, and handcuffs in an attempt to overthrow the government by kidnapping elected officials of the federal government. Again, that's a self-contained thought. There's no but. There's no but. No. That's what happened. That's bad.
You are a part of it. Like, I don't think it's 100% Trump's fault or nothing like that. I don't think it's 100%. But he holds some responsibility in what happened at the Capitol.
Ooh, spicy. So you agree with impeachment then? Then you agree. Then we agree that Donald Trump is at least partially responsible for the terrorist attack on the Capitol. Good admission.
So does everybody else in America that have been showing evidence, or what we believe is evidence, of what happened in this election. You know, you got Joe Schmo getting more votes than any president in United States history.
Yeah, people really, really hate Donald Trump. Weird how that worked out.
You haven't, for the first time in history, they stopped the vote on election night. You have in history for the first...
It usually gets... Actually, no, that's not true. Normally on election night, they make a call because they're able to get through them quicker because they're not dealing with so many mail-in ballots and stuff. And also we had the highest turnout we've ever had in the country. Not necessarily by... I'm actually not sure if it's by percentage of population, but it is based on, you know, just raw numbers. So it took a really long time, and it was an interesting election in that there were shifts in certain areas, so it took longer to certify, not even certify, call the election. That's the word I'm thinking of. So often it will get called on election night in the past, right? In years when we don't have quarantine and so many mail-in ballots and early voting and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean they're done counting on election night. They usually, you know, a few days after are still doing stuff. It's just normally they're able to call it before then because they're not dealing with so many outstanding ballots, unlike election night this year when, again, very, very unique circumstances.
First time ever a president gets millions more votes in his incumbency than in his first time going, and he lost.
Yeah.
You have never had a president win all bellwether counties and lose.
Wait, what did he say?
You have never had a president win all bellwether counties and lose.
Oh, win all bellwether counties and lose. That sucks. I guess he did a really bad job.
You have never had a president with much excitement and enthusiasm and not win.
I don't know about that one. Again, these people don't really take into account the fact that, like, I know there are, like, 74 million people in this country. It's horrifying that saw the last 4 years and they're like, yes, more of this, please, and they love Donald Trump. It's disgusting. But they exist. Luckily, there are more people who saw what happened in the last 4 years and went, oh my god, this is horrifying, and voted against that. And I'm really appreciative of everyone who went out to go vote. It's great.
So, of course, people are going to be confused as to what really happened and if this is true. Joe Biden can't get people to come out and support him at all.
I mean, hold on. Let's see. 81 million votes is more than 74 million votes. So it does look like Joe Biden had people come out and support him more than Trump. Interesting how that worked. Math is hard, I know.
He can't even read a teleprompter. He's kneecap deep in criminal activity in Ukraine. His son is literally, I can't say these things because I'm trying to be saved. His son is implicated.
The only thing, what's his name? I'm always forgetting his name. The only thing Biden's son is implicated in is having the biggest penis I've ever seen. Hunter, yeah. Did you guys see that thing? It's a monster.
CCP has leverage. You can't.
It's probably not. I've probably seen pictures of bigger penises, but it's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's the kind of big where I'd think if he gets excited, he might get lightheaded just because so much blood all of a sudden has to rush elsewhere.
Can't have your son getting bucket naked on videos, and you are going to be the president. You know what kind of blackmail? He didn't campaign or anything.
He did campaign, actually. He did.
And you want people to be dumb enough to believe that that's the most popular president in United States history ever? Ever?
I mean, more people just really, really dislike Trump, but yeah, he got the most votes because people despise Donald Trump. He's the only president to get impeached twice. Fun fact.
Donald Trump had the most votes out of any president in history.
Except Biden, who will be the president. But if you're talking about incumbent, yeah.
Except for Joe Biden.
Yep.
You can't. Think about this. The most racist president of all times, according to the left, Mr. President Trump, had the most votes out of any president in United States history.
Yeah. America has a lot of people who are into that sort of rhetoric, unfortunately. It's a problem we have.
Except for Joe Biden.
Yep.
You can't make this stuff up. But
you're right, you can't. It's just reality. Sorry, I know reality has a liberal bias, but here we are.
What I will say is that what disappointed me was that Trump keeps putting his foot deeper up his every time he talks.
You're just now realizing that?
Because they've already blamed you for everything. The day you get impeached, your speech doesn't even criticize the impeachment from what I heard. You didn't even criticize it. You didn't even say nothing about the election. You didn't criticize nothing about Pence, nothing, but condemning what happened at the Capitol.
Yeah, which is a good call.
When nobody should be shocked at what happened at the Capitol. Nobody should be shocked if there are things that happened during the inauguration. Nobody should be shocked.
Hello, FBI, hello, yes, I'm talking to you on my, gavel phone, this video right here, this is the video, please investigate immediately, thank you, gavel phone out.
You got rhetoric that's being pushed, and that rhetoric is either true or false. But that rhetoric carries the weight of the history of America as we know it. That rhetoric determines whether we have just lost our country forever or it's all made up and we'll gain ground in 2022 and 2024. This is not something you take lightly. I feel like the condemnation coming from the president is as if, unless he got an ace in the hole, as if he took what he was saying lightly. Like, you just tell 75 million people that their votes was completely disenfranchised and that we don't have a government and there was a coup and we're...
Yeah, he was lying when he said those things. Those parts were lies. He was lying to you because you're a gullible rube. He was lying and you believed the lies of someone who acts like a used car salesman. You believed a stereotypical used car salesman who looks and acts like Biff Tannen. And now you're mad that you're finding out that he was lying to you the whole time. I feel like I'm voguing a little bit here. Just admit you were lied to.
They're running a shadow government. You as the acting president, not the acting, you were the actual president of the United States of America with access to classified and top secret information, and you're telling the American people that the government has attempted to overthrow a duly elected president and cheated in an election.
No, that's not what happened, actually. Joe Biden won by getting more votes, and you guys tried to perform a coup by kidnapping members of Congress. Fun stuff. It's like a pipe now. The gavel is just every prop I need.
This is what you are saying, Mr. President Trump. And if I were you and I said these things, I wouldn't be so quick to condemn the very actions that are mathematically expected after I say these things to people. He didn't have to go hard on condemnation. Why, Mr. Tatum? And I'm the smartest man online right now. I'm just saying.
No. Read my jowls. No.
Why, Mr. Tatum? Because it was not clear as to who breached what. Was Antifa involved? It was not clear as to, was this a setup where you had people that weren't even Trump supporters who breached, but then Trump supporters came in after, many of which didn't do anything but sit in the lobby and take selfies.
Breaking into the Capitol, even if the doors are open, is still a federal crime. It's still a crime. All we did was commit one crime while other people around us committed many other crimes. What's so wrong with that?
Was this a planned, trick that they did to falsify an image without us knowing what's really happening?
Quick, guys, we made ourselves look like violent thug idiots. What do we do? Let's just say it was a trap the whole time. We'll go full Admiral Akbar. It's fine.
And who's culpable and responsible? You come out and condemn to appease who? I see people all the time, and they mad at me, they DMing me, they talking to me. Brandon, we shouldn't be acting like this, and we shouldn't be doing this, and it's like, this makes us look bad. This is making us look bad to who? If people were to protest in a form of storming the Capitol, that's not, to me, that doesn't make me feel some type of way about Trump or conservatives. I don't care.
You should care. It says a lot about you that you don't care that insurrectionists tried to kidnap members of Congress. You should care about that.
I don't associate every action with the president. I look at that and say, I probably wouldn't do that, but I understand how that clash happened because of what I've read and what I've seen in lawsuits and all this other stuff. So I get it. I see how that could have happened. I wouldn't initially do it, but I see how it happened. So when you say it makes us look bad, to who? I didn't think that had anything to do with making conservatives look bad.
You'd be wrong.
I feel like that made our government look bad because they failed to at least give credence to any accusations that were put out there. Although they ran with Russia for 4 years and actually did an investigation and had a special counsel, and they knew they were lying the whole time. And we caught them, and we knew they were lying. We caught them lying. We proved that it was a hoax, and we did nothing. But then people have questions about this election, and nobody gets heard. They act like it's a lie. You're a conspiracy theorist. So you can imagine.
That would be because the idea that Trump courted Russia to try and get dirt on his opponents was based in evidence, and your accusations were based in memes and conspiracy theories. That would be the difference.
Imagine how people feel, hoodwinked, and they're going to act out. And if you were a government who was responsible, you would give it credence and give at least a hearing to hear the evidence and then disprove the evidence so everybody can see you disproved it. When you don't even take it to trial, people are going to act out. It's the same thing that happens with the police incidents that happen in the black community. Now, most of them...
All of a sudden, does he support BLM? I'm going to guess no.
Clearly obvious. They're obvious that a dude pull a weapon on a police officer and all that stuff, and then what happened? It happened. The black man was wrong. 99% of what I've seen, black man was wrong. Stevie Wonder, Helen Keller, and Ray Charles drew a picture of what they saw happening in those scenarios. But there are some that are controversial. Like, I think that Philando Castile could have went to trial, although I think the officer had a pretty good explanation, but that could have went to trial. That's the only one that didn't go to trial that could have went to trial, in my personal opinion. And then the other one that is going to trial that I think will be a perfect example is George Floyd. Now, I think the officer is not going to get convicted, and not because I don't think he should. It's because I don't think they're going to be able to determine that his behavior actually resulted in the death of George Floyd, given the fact he had fentanyl and methamphetamine in his system with doses lethal enough to kill anybody. That was going to inevitably kill him anyway. But that not going to trial, think about this. If what happened to George Floyd didn't go to trial, what do you think America would be going through right now? They lost their minds, and the officer got arrested the next day and was charged. Everybody got charged and got fired, probably the next day or the day after. Now, imagine if that didn't go to trial and nobody was able to see body-worn camera evidence.
Why are we talking about BLM all of a sudden? I thought we were talking about the fact that you thought the Capitol riot was super-duper coolsies.
Was able to see anything. Nobody's testimony was heard. People could see with their eyes that something wasn't right with George Floyd. That didn't look right. And you had no trial. There was no hearings. You wasn't going to hear no evidence.
Oh, he's comparing George Floyd to election conspiracy theories. Here's the thing. There was video of George Floyd having the officer on, like, his neck, and he was saying, like, I can't breathe and stuff. There was no evidence of voter fraud, so that's the difference.
When people could see that police officer did not do what appeared to be right to the naked eye, and you don't do nothing, they burnt it down when people went, even though they got arrested. Imagine if nobody ever got closure as to what really happened. People will get closure, whether or not the police officer get charged or not, or convicted. You're going to be able to hear all the evidence that's presented in the court of law. It'll be open for discovery. People will be talking about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The same thing with this election. You have to give the American people an opportunity to hear out a rebuttal.
There was opportunity. There were over 60 court cases filed, and they all got thrown out. What more do you want, guys? There were also recounts. You lost. You lost.
To some of these things that have been presented. If you don't, people are going to believe everything they hear that's even anything similar to fraud.
Then I guess you should stop being taken in by a bunch of con artists who are trying to rile you up to try and keep a con artist in as the president of the United States. That'd be great.
It smells bad. You can't not investigate this. When you have thousands of people writing affidavits saying I witnessed things that were consistent with fraud.
Some of these affidavits, I'm not kidding, were, by the way, there was a large guy there, and he scared me by being large. The affidavits were absolute garbage for anyone who didn't look at them.
Whether it's true or not, you have to hear those people. These are American people. who have a vested interest in not lying to you because they sign a sworn affidavit.
The GOP solicited those affidavits with promises of cash rewards, by the way. Don't know if that would be relevant to your knowledge of the situation, but,
People have seen videos online that nobody can explain, and they're not even trying to explain.
yeah, they have. If you're talking about, like, the Georgia thing with the thing under the table, that's been debunked multiple times. All the other videos have been debunked. You guys just don't listen to the answers when they actually get debunked. So it's not our fault that you're refusing to listen to explanations when you're given them.
And you don't do it, you're gonna cause division. And then you don't do an investigation into allegations, and then you try to impeach the president with 10 days left. A big you to President Trump and everybody that voted for him.
Yeah, it is. F you guys. Seriously. I hope you take it as an F you. I really, really do. Take it personally. Take that to the bank. I really, really want you to feel that. Please.
And you think somehow there's going to be unity. You think somehow people are going to be okay now. You're going to make people even more crazy. You didn't investigate clear evidence to them. Something clear. It was, to me, it seemed pretty clear. But
and you're also a Trump supporter. You're not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm just saying. Like, you can't... Well, I personally think there's a lot of credence to this conspiracy theory. You know, like competent lawyer Sidney Powell. She just put a bunch of typos in her lawsuit, like all competent lawyers do. She spelled district wrong twice, 2 different ways in the same sentence. It's all good.
You didn't even investigate it to make the determination. And then you're going to impeach Trump over something he had no involvement in. And you jumped the gun.
Google stochastic terrorism.
Because you're partisan. And you're going to make people even more upset. And then when people do stuff at the Capitol, when we watch the whole country burn over the summer over BLM protest and Antifa, and you totally disregard that as being have anything to do with anything, and you label these people as domestic terrorists,
one of these things is burning a target. The other thing is trying to overthrow democracy. Target? Democracy. Well, I do like the deals I get at Target, and their slushies are pretty good. On the other hand, democracy gives me a say in my government. It's tough. It's a tough call.
Like, you're going to make people even more upset. If they were to indict, if they were to somehow remove President Trump from office, because they're not going to be able to do it before inauguration in the transition of power, if they somehow were to remove President Trump and impeach him for a second time, people are not going to be normal. They're not going to be happy. People have put their whole lives behind this.
Ring, ring. Hello, FBI. It's me on my gavel phone again. Yeah, I have a real phone right here. Why do you ask? Oh, the gavel's funner. Anyway, yeah, he's still doing it. He's still doing the thing. Oh, okay. You're busy watching Bryson Gray videos? Okay. After that, look up Officer Tatum. All right. Love you too. Bye.
I'm just saying. And I expected President Trump to take a stronger stance. If you're gonna go out like a G. Don't go out kissing a rear end. Don't go out shunning the very people that in many cases are probably fighting to support you because they believe that you were wronged and that the government wronged you. Think about this for a minute.
This was 18 hours ago. Someone asked when this was. 18 hours ago. Am I cheating on you with the FBI? No. It's, me and the FBI agent. It's just platonic love. It's just homie love. Wait, is homie unisex? Or is that a masculine identifier? Whatever the unisex version of homie is.
For a minute. And I'm going to get to some super chats. Think about this for a minute. They spied on his campaign as the president-elect. They spied on his campaign. They created a fake Steele dossier to investigate Russia collusion, which was completely fake.
Weird that there were all those indictments from it then. Weird. Weird that all those people got convicted since it was fake.
They have been calling Trump a racist every day. They've impeached him once over a phone call that now we know was legitimized because there's issues with the Biden family and corruption. They've been going after Trump ever since he came down the escalator. They had women.
Yeah, he's a criminal. He's a con man and a criminal and kind of a racist POS. So that would be why.
Come out and lie.
Let me another chance to use this clip.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
That'd be good. Trump should maybe learn to do that.
Say he touched them. They did all this to President Trump. Government officials did this to President Trump. Government. Director Comey, Mueller, our government.
Both Republicans, by the way.
Did this to President Trump. Then in an election, people believe that our government is hiding something. Some of these people that went to the Capitol and got upset was because they felt our government
got upset, aka tried to overthrow democracy with violence. Cool. Very cool.
You know, was fighting against the president, and everybody else turned on him. And he has no way of stepping up or having any support unless the people support him. And he turns around and focuses primarily on the people who were violent versus the people who came down there to support him that were not violent.
Yeah, the violent ones are the important ones, and from what I saw, it was most of them. Like, the old people weren't necessarily because they're old, but like the people who initially breached and got in and got past the lines, they were beating the crap out of the cops.
And he gives them a big Trump on a silver platter. Here's your narrative. You want to destroy my entire legacy? Here's the narrative right here. These are bad people. I condemn it to the worst degree. These are not Americans. This is not what I stand for. But they in there with Trump flags. They MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. So you're saying that your people are detestable.
He's so close. He's so close. He's like,
They had flags on. This is ungodly and unconstitutional. This is not America. They had Trump flags on. These were Trump supporters from the visual. This looks like Trump supporters. So Trump is saying my people are detestable. My people had no business doing that. This is un-American. Here you go. Here's the narrative. Take it. Take it and destroy everything that I ever believed I was with this narrative right here.
Please do.
And I'm going to go on TV and I'm going to give you this narrative every time I talk. It was wrong, it was wrong, it was wrong. And now they're saying, okay, Mr. Trump, we agree with you. That was detestable. This is the darkest day in United States history. You know what? You incited it. Well, wait. I don't agree. No, you incited it. Because you said that it was detestable. The reason that they're here is because you had a rally. And the reason that they're here is because they believe in this election thing that you've been pushing.
Does Jim Sterling go by they, them? Oh, I didn't know. Sorry if I referred to them as other than that earlier. I didn't know that.
Or culpable.
I haven't watched them in a while.
But I condemn. So. No, you're culpable because you admitted that you had something to do with it as the president of the United States of America. And they coming after you. I think that we should have stood strong like they
You think they go by whatever, but they're non-binary?
when it's their side. Their side. This is what they do when it's their side. They say, this is mostly peaceful. What do you mean? What do you mean? Who said that protest is supposed to be peaceful? This is mostly peaceful. Although the buildings are burning behind me. And this is, I don't know.
Who's Jim Sterling? Jim Sterling is a person who talks about a lot of stuff in the video game industry on YouTube. They're pretty staunchly anti-capitalist. It's really good stuff. Go check out Jim Sterling.
$15 million worth of damage here.
Had some interesting drama with like a $10 million lawsuit someone filed against them. That's pretty funny.
And I think
I'm sure it wasn't funny at the time. I've been in lawsuits. I know they're stressful, but you know, outside as an observer, quite interesting.
there's a couple dead people, but most of it is peaceful, as you can see. It's peaceful. What are you talking about? These people are fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their rights to exist in America and be able to walk down the street without getting killed by police officers.
Yeah, saying things in a silly voice doesn't make it not true, as it turns out. Like if I go 2 + 2 = 4, it doesn't make that not true. See how that works?
This is peaceful. Nancy Pelosi, they don't even talk about it.
All right, that's probably enough, Officer Tatum. That's 20 minutes of his 3.5-hour stream. Again, I'm just gonna hello, Agent, yeah, Agent, that's the agent's name. Agent, go ahead and watch the rest of the stream. I can't put up with any more of this. So, Agent, I'll talk to you later tonight, and tell your kids I said go to bed. I hate you. Bye. I don't know, guys. Have you tried to sit in front of a camera for 3.5 hours and be entertaining? It can't all be gold. That's all I'm saying.